Imperial Robes. The ground was like a roller coaster, just one rocky, barren ridge after another. Sarah plodded along doggedly. She was hot, thirsty, and dusty, and she could feel a blister starting on one heel. Jamie, grumbling behind her, didn't help either.
Let's stop for a rest. Isn't there anywhere we could get a drink?
How should I know? Hang on. How about that place over there?
What place? Where?
Look, there. Across the other side of the valley, on top of that hill over there.
A castle.
Not just any old castle. It looks like something out of a fairy tale. With all those towers and turrets and pointy roofs like witches' hats.
Never mind about turrets and pointy roofs. What I want is a shower, a long drink, and an enormous plate of fish and chips. Not necessarily in that order.
Hang on, what's that?
Out the way! I can't stop the brute!
Do you think he's all right?
Not really, the horse looks completely out of control.
Help!
He's been thrown off!
He doesn't look too good. He's not moving at all.
We better go and see if he's okay. Come on, Jamie!
All right, coming. He's got a huge lump on his forehead.
He moved, so he's still alive. Hello, are you all right?
Where am I? What happened? Oh, who are you?
Your pony bolted, and you fell off and got a great big whack on the head. But you seem all right otherwise. Can you get up?
Think so. Did you see where Tiddles went off to?
Tiddles?
That's my pony. Oh, I know you're thinking that's a ridiculous name for a pony, but I called him that when I was very young, and now he answers to it, so we're stuck with it.
I'm sure that's a very nice name.
He went that way.
Oh dear, I suppose that means he's home by now. I'll just have to walk back to the castle. Trouble is, I think I'm going to need a bit of help. If you don't mind.
We can prop you up on either side, can't we, Jamie?
Sure, no problem.
Thanks, only I feel a bit woozy.
Don't worry, we'll help you get home.
This is some place.
Do you really live in this castle?
Yes, my father is the Emperor's Prime Minister. My name's Jared, by the way. What are you called?
I'm Sarah, and this is my brother, Jamie.
You can stay the night at the castle. We always give travellers a bed and a meal.
Oh, good.
Thanks, that's kind of you. We were completely lost before we met you. It's lucky you came along.
And I'm lucky you were there to help me. Now just come over the drawbridge and you can meet my father. That's my father.
What? In all those grand robes? He looks very important.
You there! Stand back! The Emperor is coming! Stand aside, I say. Oh, it's you, Jared. Where have you been? Why are you so filthy? Never mind, I'll deal with you later. Make way for the Emperor!
Is that him?
His clothes are even more amazing than your father's.
Prime Minister.
Sire.
Yes. Please attend us in the throne room in 1 hour.
Yes, sire.
And get these ill-dressed ragamuffins out of here. They are a disgrace to my court.
Of course, sire.
And now we must be off. I have important matters to attend to.
Sire. I'd better go and be ready for him.
What a cheek! Us, ragamuffins?
Don't mind him. The Emperor's just very fussy about his clothes.
Yes, I noticed. I've never seen such expensive-looking clothes.
That's the trouble. That's why Father's looking so worried. The Emperor has always spent a lot on clothes, but just recently it's got completely out of hand. He's almost bankrupted the whole country. He doesn't have time to attend to affairs of state anymore.
Why is that?
He changes his clothes every hour, on the hour, and he never wears the same outfit twice. So there are always tailors to see and patterns to choose, and then there are the fittings. There's no time left in the day to do anything else.
Sounds like he's got a real problem.
Bit of a shopaholic.
And that's not our only problem. A week ago, 2 foreigners arrived at the castle. They said they were weavers and could make an exquisite cloth that also had magical qualities. Anyone who didn't deserve his job or was hopelessly stupid wouldn't be able to see the cloth. It would be invisible to them.
Sounds a bit far-fetched.
Of course, the Emperor just had to have a suit made of this wonderful cloth. Trouble is, it's horribly expensive, so all the royal money's going to end up in the weaver's pockets.
Is it worth it, this magical cloth?
I doubt it.
What does it look like?
I don't think anyone knows. Everybody who's seen it describes it differently. I bet the cloth doesn't exist at all, but everyone's too scared to say so.
That would mean the 2 weavers are just a couple of swindlers.
It's quite possible, but the Emperor just won't listen to reason. Taxes have been raised to pay for this cloth, and there's a lot of unrest among our people.
I'm not surprised.
And I've also heard some rumours that King Helibert of the neighbouring kingdom is getting his army together on our northern border. If there's a revolt, well, I don't know what will happen. Now, we must go to the kitchens and have something to eat.
Brilliant. I could really do with some food. I'm starving. Great pie. What's in it?
Partridge.
It's delicious.
Jared, there you are.
Father, what's the matter? You look flustered.
As well I might. I wanted you to know what was happening in case I get cast into a dungeon by nightfall.
Father, no one would cast you into a dungeon. They wouldn't dare.
Listen to me, Jared. The Emperor is planning to use this so-called magic cloth to test all his councillors and servants to see if they are fit for their posts. If this doesn't cause a revolution, nothing will.
Surely he won't test you.
I'm to be the first. The Emperor has decided to show the cloth to me now, this afternoon. If I can see it, well and good. If I can't, it means I'm not fit for my post and I'll probably end the day chained up in a dungeon.
I don't see the problem. Can't you tell the Emperor that the weavers are coming? Then he can throw them into a dungeon.
It's not that simple. The Emperor has already seen the cloth, and he says it's absolutely exquisite.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, indeed. I'm going to have to say I can see it or I'll get the sack. And although I say it myself, the country really needs me at this time of crisis.
Can I come with you to see the cloth for ourselves?
I don't see why not. Just keep well in the background, though, or you'll get another lecture on your dress sense. Here we are. Remember what I said.
Keep in the background. Sure, we can do that.
Ah, there you are at last, Prime Minister. Fabian Carlos, yes, my dear fellows. Put your loom down here.
Would you trust those 2? Their faces are completely hidden by beards.
And see, there's nothing at all on their loom.
Bring me the cloth. Carefully now. We don't want to damage it, do we? So, Prime Minister, how do you like our precious cloth?
Magnificent, sire.
And the colours?
Brighter and more vivid than those of the rainbow, sire.
We could not put it better ourselves, Prime Minister. You may go.
Thank you, sire.
Father, you don't look well.
I have never lied to the Emperor before. Now I do feel unfit for my post. Perhaps there is some cloth there after all, and I just couldn't see it.
No, Father, there isn't. Did you see any cloth?
No, there was definitely nothing there.
Not a single thread.
In 3 days' time, the Emperor is holding a grand parade to show off his new clothes made from the magic cloth. How can I stop him making a complete fool of himself?
Well, at least that gives us 3 days. How about if Sarah, Jamie and I go on a whistle-stop fact-finding tour of the kingdom?
Eh?
If we discover that the people are on the verge of a revolution, perhaps you can persuade the Emperor to cancel the parade.
Oh, I don't really like it. But I suppose no one will suspect you. You will simply be showing your new friends the countryside.
Exactly.
Do I have to be shut up in this smelly old thing and be carried by 2 servants? I'd much rather have a horse like Jared and Jamie.
Ladies never ride, or not here at any rate. You must be carried in this litter. If you were to ride a pony, you would draw far too much attention to yourself, and that is the last thing we want. Off you all go now. I'll expect you back at sundown the day after tomorrow. Goodbye.
Goodbye then, Father. And don't worry.
Goodbye!
Well, this is the border town.
You mean we're near King Helibert's kingdom?
That's right.
So, what do we do now? Just hang around looking invisible?
Yes, we need to hear what the people are saying.
We don't need him with his taxes here. What are we going to do?
Let's topple him!
We need a leader, not a clothes horse.
Oh dear, I was afraid that's what we'd hear.
Who are they? Over there. They look different.
King Helibert's men.
They're being very pally with the Emperor's citizens.
I know. It doesn't look promising. I think we'd better head back home and tell Father the bad news.
Not long to go now, Sarah.
It's all very well for you two, but I'm absolutely boiled in here. Couldn't we stop at the next inn and get something to drink? We'll still make it before the parade this afternoon.
All right, we'll stop at the next village.
Thanks.
You stay in there, Sarah. We'll bring you out a drink.
Okay. It's those weavers. What are they doing here?
It was a stroke of genius, my dear Carlos, to suggest that anyone who couldn't see the cloth was a half-wit and unfit for his post. Even the Prime Minister fell for it, and he's the brains of the outfit, no doubt about that.
No one likes to appear a fool, sir, especially at court.
It was even cleverer to get the Emperor to parade in public in his fabulous new suit.
What a pity he brought the parade forward, so we'll miss it.
Yes, but we have got all the gold with us.
All the same, I'd love to see their faces when their dear Emperor parades in front of them in his birthday suit.
It should cook his goose nicely. Then the country will be ripe for my father's picking. When the rabble realise that their beloved emperor has spent all their taxes on nothing but thin air, they'll all welcome good King Helibert.
Yeah, quite right. Yeah.
Here's your drink, Sarah.
Thanks. You'll never guess what I just heard.
So, Fabian must have been Prince Grimwald in disguise. That's Helibert's eldest son. I thought he looked a bit familiar under that silly beard. The parade will be starting soon. You two had better ride to the castle quickly and get father to stop it. I'll go after those two villains. I can't let them get away, and I need to get the Emperor's gold back.
You can't catch them all by yourself. There's 2 of them and only 1 of you. I'll come with you.
I suppose that makes sense. I'll see if I can fix us some extra horses. Sarah, can you find your way back to the castle on your own?
Sure, no problem. It'll be great to be on a horse for a change instead of being cooped up in that thing.
Find my father and tell him what's happened. Tell him to send some armed men after us.
Oh no! The parade started! And there's the Emperor with no clothes on! I've got to find the Prime Minister quick! Excuse me! So that's what's happened.
This is serious. How on earth am I going to explain this to the people?
What you need is some sort of story to limit the damage.
Yes, but what?
Couldn't you say that the Emperor knew all along that the Weavers were plotting against the state, but he went along with them to gain time so that a plot could be foiled?
You think anyone will believe that? What about this afternoon's parade? The Emperor striding along in nothing but a crown and a pair of boots. Hasn't he made a complete fool of himself?
Well, the Emperor wanted to give his army time to gather and quell the invasion, so he had to keep the Weavers happy and not make them suspect anything. Parading in public in his birthday suit was a magnificent sacrifice by the Emperor on behalf of his people.
Well, I suppose it might just work. I'll write a speech and deliver it tonight. We'd better make our way back to the castle then.
Look, there's Gerard and Jamie.
Father, look! We captured Prince Grimwald and the other con man.
Oh, well done, Jared. You proved yourself worthy to be my son.
I couldn't have done it without Jamie and Sarah's help.
Got the gold back as well.
Excellent. I'm beginning to feel much better already. I think we shall have to have a special dinner tonight to celebrate your magnificent work.
Thank you, Father.
I must congratulate you on your excellent speech, Prime Minister.
Sire, you nearly lost your kingdom over this affair. However, the ransom money we will get for Grimwald and the gold my son recovered for you will just save us from going bankrupt. But, sire, the spending on clothes must stop. It really must.
It's all right, Prime Minister. You've made your point.
After all, sire, you have enough suits to last you several lifetimes.
I suppose so. Unless we put on weight.
Better keep him on a strict diet then.
The music in the Imperial Robes is taken from Eine kleine Nachtmusik, or A Little Night Music, and from 6 German dances by Mozart. In the first movement of Eine kleine Nachtmusik, the strings open the piece with lively chords before the violins, accompanied by the other strings, begin the main tune, a joyful melody that is repeated throughout the movement. In contrast to the first movement, the second, Romance, is slow and dreamy. Once again, the violins play the main tune to a rocking accompaniment from the rest of the strings. A new, more lively tune is introduced, but it will soon be replaced by the first. Now a third, even livelier tune comes in, led by the violins, with an accompaniment of staccato chords from the rest of the strings. Once again, though, the slow, dreamy main tune will take over to bring the movement to an end. The third movement, minuet and trio, opens with a stately tune to which the people listening might dance elegantly round the room. In the middle comes the trio, a gentler, more soothing tune, before the minuet is repeated at the end. The strings rush into the last, scurrying movement of the piece, rondo, with barely a pause. Getting louder as it goes, its one main tune is repeated over and over till the end. Six German dances. The first dance is a boisterous, almost stomping tune played by the strings and woodwind. In contrast, the second dance is much more gentle. Strings play the main tune, accompanied by the brass. The third dance, too, is gentle, with strings playing a rocking tune to brass accompaniment. Dance 4 is much more lively, with the brass and wind playing spiky, staccato arpeggios. The horn then comes in with a gentle solo, but it won't be long before the lively main tune reappears. Brass and strings together play the main tune of the fifth dance, a fanfare. A piccolo butts in with a chirruping tune that sounds like birdsong. But just like the other dances, the first tune will soon be played again. The last of the 6 dances opens with a grand, stately tune played by the strings, brass and timpani. These are just some of the highlights from Mozart's Eine kleine Nachtmusik and 6 German dances. You are bound to discover more every time you listen.